New bombshell revelation as our I-team investigates a Fort Worth police pursuit that ended in the death of an uninvolved driver. Now the department is considering charges against one of their own.
Also here at 5, with more than 1 billion active users globally, time really could be ticking for TikTok. The move that was made today that brings the U.S. one step closer for closing that app for good.
We welcome you in for CBS News Texas at 5 o'clock. It's good to have you. I'm Doug Dunbar.
I'm Nicole Baker. We have a lot going on, but first at 5, we are still following that breaking news for you out of Irving. We're giving you a live look right now. This is what it looks like southbound on President George Bush Turnpike at Las Colinas Boulevard. Now, it is still closed, although they are starting to clear the scene after an officer-involved shooting. Irving police telling us the suspect drove right through a barricade that was set up for a crash there earlier this morning. Officers followed that man until he got out, ran on foot. He had a knife and refused to follow their instructions. We're told a 15-year veteran officer opened fire and the suspect was hit fatally. He passed away. His identity not being released at this hour, but that investigation is still ongoing.
Police today also looking for 2 men after an aggravated robbery in Fort Worth, and to watch it is fairly scary. Nobody hurt, thankfully, but security cameras catch the whole thing. Police tell us it happened at a smoke shop on Randall Mill Road. This was last Monday night. The armed men in here forced the employee and also a customer who just happened to walk in after those 2 guys. Both of them have to lie down on the floor face down. The suspects do eventually leave. They do that actually in the customer's car. They did get away with some cash and some merchandise. As of tonight, they still have not been caught.
And a bombshell revelation today in the case of a Fort Worth police chase that ended with the death of an uninvolved driver.
New court documents today showing at least 1 officer could face some criminal charges. Our I-team has spent months digging into the issue. Ginger Allen here in studio with what they've uncovered today. Ginger?
You know, as you both know, this entire incident has been shrouded in secrecy from the start, with the city fighting every open records request the I-team has filed about the chase and the crash. But today's news comes as the city fights with the family of the driver who died.
It started last July, south of downtown Fort Worth. Police were chasing a car that had been reported stolen. That car made it through the intersection of Rosedale and Evans, but a police cruiser collided with an SUV driven by Andre Craig, killing the 57-year-old. Weeks later, the department released a heavily redacted report of the incident. It showed the chase lasted 2 miles, reaching speeds up to 100 miles an hour on a road where the speed limit is 30. Craig's family maintains that he had the green light, something police have refused to address. In the 8 months since that day, the department has remained largely silent. But now, a civil lawsuit filed by Craig's family is revealing new details. In a recent filing, the city's attorneys say the police department is, quote, conducting a criminal investigation to determine whether the involved officer acted negligently or reckless, adding that, quote, it will be the exact question the city will present to a Tarrant County grand jury.
There's no question that this officer acted negligent as well as reckless.
Attorney Daryl Washington represents the Craig family.
The I-team learned about this criminal investigation in documents. Is this how you learned also, and the family learned?
This is exactly how we learned. I don't think the family should ever learn these type of things at the same time that the public's learning this. This is something that I think the city of Fort Worth could have reached out to the family and let the family know, listen, we are conducting an investigation. We're going to get some answers for you all. That would have been the proper manner in which to handle this. And, you know, thus far, nothing about this case has been handled properly.
In the filing, the city says it is being forced into a, quote, conundrum, investigating the officer for criminal charges while also defending the officer's actions in a civil lawsuit. That's why city attorneys are asking to delay the family's suit for 6 months. Criminal attorney Jeremy Rosenthal, who is not involved in the case, says the city is in a tricky position.
I think you could also say that they've filed a motion to have their cake and eat it too. There's certainly nothing barring them from just settling the case now, but they want to hold on, and I think they want to see what happens through the criminal investigation.
Fort Worth PD told us today, quote, the investigation into the officer is completed and, quote, is currently undergoing the final review and approval and will be handed over to the DA's office in short order. The timing of the presentation to a grand jury will be up to the DA. Meanwhile, the man accused of driving the stolen car in that pursuit had his first day in court yesterday. 19-year-old Brian Hunter is charged in Craig's death. He is currently out on bond.
So Doug and Nicole, there is another big question in all of this, and that's, did the officer, who has not been identified, violate the department's pursuit policy? The department has not answered that one for us and has taken the Texas AG to court to prevent releasing of its policy to the I-Team. But certainly learning about this criminal case today raises the question that that policy was not followed.